was a jam-packed first full day here at the 2025 California Democratic Party State Convention. The 4,000 Democrats in attendance heard from big-name speakers, including Minnesota Governor and 2024 Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, and California's own U.S. Senator Adam Schiff. Important to note, part of this convention is focused on internal party matters like electing the party chair, but other aspects of the convention are heavily focused on state and, yes, national politics. Front and center, taking on President Donald Trump.
It has only been 4 months since this show started, but it is really clear where this is headed. And I think it comes down to this. You watch this guy, he's not all that complicated.
He really thinks he's a comedian.
There's two things that motivate Trump: cruelty and corruption. We have to push back every single day to what Trump is doing, every single day.
California does not cower, not now, not ever. We say to bullies, you can go yourself.
Shifty shift.
Will you stand up for health care? Will you stand up for Social Security? Will you stand up to Donald Trump?
Those in attendance like what they heard.
I feel so energized. Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, I've been a little low on Democrats, and I'm very inspired.
Oh, this is a really good convention. I think the energy, in spite of this last election, is fantastic.
With COVID and then with the loss, we've all been disconnected. So this is a good time for us to get reconnected and to work together.
The California Republican Party, meantime, has put out its own message during this convention, accusing Democrats of putting too much focus on fighting President Trump instead of prioritizing issues back home.
Here in California, Democrats run everything. They run the California state legislature, they run the executive branches, they run the governor's office, rather than focus as to what is happening 3,000 some miles away in Washington, D.C. They need to start fixing the problems that they created here in this state.
Remember, we are just about a year from the 2026 California primary election. As such, major Democratic candidates running for governor are in attendance this weekend. We've caught up with each major candidate here and will bring you coverage this week.
A very interesting group of people. The person that's really missing on there is Kamala Harris. And Kamala couldn't show up. She was too busy to show up, though. But let me play a video of her giving one of her best classic speeches.
State's leadership on the issue, an agenda that threatens our world-class university system and the students who chart the future of our nation. Well, we will not stand for this. I know you will not stand for this.
Yeah, I'm not going to play her whole speech, though, because it's not inspiring. It's just one of those cookie cutter. They wrote the speech for her, so because they knew she couldn't deliver it in person, she'd actually mess it up or say some word salad BS like she does in her past speeches, though. But it is interesting that she didn't show up and she wasn't on the, or she hasn't even said if she's going to be running for the governor as well, too. So I think it's confirmation that she is running for president come 2028. Now, what we're going to do next is talk about Cory Booker, who is currently in hot water. Well, he's being called out on him, and the Democrats are being called out on their hypocrisy when it comes to this supposed Nazi salute that they went after Elon Musk for. Now, this is Cory Booker at that California Democratic Convention, and let's see what it looks like first. Oh. Let me play this again for the people, for the slow people in the back. Yeah. So that's Cory Booker. Let's look at the salute. Let's see if you can spot the difference between Tim Walz, Cory Booker, and Elon Musk when it comes to doing this salute. Only one of them is being called a Nazi salute, and the other one is not. All right. Interesting. Yeah. They all look the same. So which is it? Are they putting a hand on their chest or are they doing a salute? Because they spent like almost a whole month calling Elon a Nazi for, unfounded. And I'm surprised Elon did not go after these people financially, kind of like what Trump was doing when it came to like them lying, just blatantly lying in the media. So maybe there's some issues there, but let's look at some other trending events related to this, though, because this is something that's just not going away.
Let's look at one of these tech billionaire oligarchs speaking at the inauguration. heart goes out to you.
Did he just sing Heil?
It is thanks to you.
What a
Our
scumbag.
civilization.
Elon Musk just did a Nazi salute while speaking at one of Donald Trump's inauguration events. Just take a look at this clip. So,
All paid by the Democrats.
what was that on day one of Donald Trump's term? Day one, Elon Musk is doing stuff like this. Really, folks? I don't know why Elon Musk did this, but he should apologize immediately. That is absolutely disgusting. It's just very long, 4 years.
I cannot believe this happened today at a presidential inauguration in the United States of America. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. Every American should be outraged by this. How inspiring would that be?
The biggest reception of the day. You saw him come out with that.
Go ahead, address this out.
Salute. Yeah. It was odd looking. We're going to show a screen grab of it. And as he said, to him, the future of civilization is assured now that Trump won. One of his rousing lines for this crowd.
One of his rousing lines, indeed. And yes, that salute was evocative of things that we have seen through history. And of course, we do want to bring it up to be able to take a little bit of a closer look. But I think it's worth noting that Elon Musk has started to play in politics, not just here in the United States, but across Europe as well, including a far-right party in Germany that he has pushed. He's, of course, pressured Keir Starmer, the prime minister in the United Kingdom. This is something, there are some themes here.
I did want to ask you about the inauguration yesterday. Elon Musk, I'm sure you saw this, the head of the new
Just
Department
keep
of
pushing the
Justice.
lie.
He spoke yesterday, and during his speech, he used a hand gesture that looked like a Nazi salute. Let's watch that. After this moment went viral, Congressman, the Anti-Defamation League released a statement. We can show this, saying in part, it seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute. Of course, if you go on social media,
it's funny. So the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League or whatever they're called, they came out here and pretty much said that Elon wasn't doing this. I don't know why they said awkward. The guy was just ecstatic. He was having fun. He was enjoying he was just enjoying himself, essentially. But they came out and said it wasn't, a Nazi salute. And these people just continue to push the lie that it was. So if a Jewish organization is saying that this is not a Nazi salute, why are y'all saying it?
lots of other people with lots of other opinions and say this looks very much like a Nazi salute, no matter how they're trying to clean it up. What was your reaction to that?
That was a Nazi salute, and he didn't just do it one time. He did it twice for emphasis. And you talk to anyone, it's historians, folks who actually study the Nazi.
The ADL said it wasn't.
And disgusting display have been very clear that what that was.
And that's the other thing that Democrats kind of get away with. They tell you what's racist. They tell you what's not racist. You can be, if the racism is directed towards you and you say that this is racist, they will tell you that it's not racist and it's not directed towards them. This is BS. This is, again, CNN and MSNBC and all of them, they all push the same lie about with Elon, and they just have no remorse about doing it. They won't even cover this. They probably it won't even be like a conversation down the road. The liberal media needs to be called out on this. They get away with so much disinformation, misinformation, and we will call this stuff out though, but they won't call it out themselves. This is another example of that, where you see wall-to-wall coverage on Elon Musk, but there's nothing related to Cory Booker. If anything, this is from, let's see, looks like Newsweek mentioned something. It's close on Reddit, but Reddit isn't really news like that. But then there's like, it's covered in India. I even tried to find a video related to this, and all I could find was India had really covered it and some other AI channels covering it though. But for the most part, none of these big mainstream other news networks are not covering it. This one's actually pretty funny from this Twitter account, Amuse. And this is what Newsweek said. Booker spoke at a Democratic convention in California on Saturday, ending his speech with a gesture where he put his hand over his heart, then extended his hand out to the crowd, much in the way Musk and Bannon did, though not as forcefully as Musk did. So I'm assuming they have a problem with the way that he did it because it was more girly versus the way that Elon had done it. So that's just the type of spin they try to put for the Democrats, because the D in Democrats stands for D for different. It always has. When they get called out on the hypocrisy, they just act like it's no big deal. Like, that's not what he meant. That's not what, they're just trying to like exaggerate the situation, which is what the Democrats, which is what the Democrats did with Elon Musk. They exaggerated. They knew this wasn't an issue, but they decided to attach his name to a Nazi salute. And then here's a list of everyone that covered. I mean, pretty much no one's shocked that a lot of these companies, these liberals, these left-wing news channels are not covering it, though. And they won't cover it. And that's why we have to like just continue getting this information out there. You won't find the stuff on any other platform. You're only going to find this on X. So again, just remember this list. These are all the liberals out there that just go wall-to-wall coverage on, slandering Trump, slandering Elon Musk, slandering MAGA, slandering conservatives. Really, they want to talk about, they want to be, they're going to be unbiased, but we're seeing some of these news networks, specifically MSNBC and CNN, how they're just losing ratings. NPR, they're trying to fight for funding because Trump is actually pulling their funding because of their left-wing idiocracy. So that just kind of that just lays out the type of the media coverage that we have to deal with, because when Trump is like going out there and trying to make the deals with all these other countries, trying to make America great again, continue making America great again, he has to combat all these left-wing, and these are just the news channels. So all these left-wing organizations, and then you have to combat all the idiots on, TikTok or Facebook that are just slandering Trump. Those conversations never get pulled. But you try to have this conversation that Cory Booker is doing a Nazi salute, they're going to pull that post on those other sites. X is kind of the only place where you can kind of have this conversation out loud. Now, here's another person on Twitter or X calling out the hypocrisy on how they handle the Elon Musk situation versus how they handle Cory Booker. Just wall-to-wall crazy coverage on it. Just, post after post. It turned into like kind of a click farm. And that's one way to get your numbers up, is to, push these leftist lies. And so that's why it's important to make sure that people are out here covering this information and getting the other side of it, because everybody knows it's not a Nazi salute. These are just gestures of them just showing their love for I have some questions about, Cory and Tim Walz, but again, and some of the other Democrats have did similar gestures as well too. But if they want to question Elon, I'm going to question them. Now, the only people that did have a conversation about it was the New York Post. And the New York Post pretty much just said, hey, Cory Booker's just getting slammed on X. And it's very hilarious because everybody knows these aren't Nazi salutes. These are just, the gestures that they're making to show their love for the country. But for some reason, when it comes to Elon and just having a normal conversation about it, their TDS goes crazy, or in this case, the Elon derangement syndrome goes off the charts, though. So I'm not saying, Cory did anything. He was trying to do something. He was trying to do a Nazi salute. But again, keep that same energy when you're talking about Elon. And this is why we have to repeat these things. This is why you have to constantly remind people about when it comes to the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party. They work for themselves. The D in Democrats for different. They use minority groups to push their agenda. So you're still on the Democrat bandwagon. You're just blind, and you have enough information out there to show you that the Democrats do not care about you. This is all about just going after Trump, going after Elon. We'll find out in the midterms what things look like, though, because I know the Democrats are going to fight like hell to try to, steal some seats in the midterms, and then come 2028, though. But the biggest takeaway from all this is that, we already knew that the Democrats are full of BS along with the media. But I did find it interesting that Kamala Harris did not show up at the convention at least, throw a hat in the ring about the governor running for 2028, and neither did Gavin Newsom. So I think that's confirmation that they're both running in the 2028 election. And, for our sake, if they do win, I already know who they're going to go after. So